So I had one last clip
Okay.
before we went, and we have talked about before on the show about the media and how they like to present stories nowadays. And
Mhm.
I can't stand it. And I think it's dangerous for this country. And I think the media, whether it's right leaning or left leaning, did I say that right? Left leaning, does a disservice to this country because now the media and uh, all media is really more about clicks and money
Right.
than it is
Yeah.
getting the message across to the American people the right and correct way. It's been said before. I used to hail Bill Maher, who I can't stand anymore, and it's a shame because I used to love him. But he was
Me
always
too.
right about one thing, that the media and the news, the local news, or the nightly
Mhm.
news that you'd
Yeah.
see with Tom Brokaw and um, you know Ted Koppel, all those guys, it was what was called a loss leader. And basically it would lead into the 7 o'clock programming and it would lose money. And again, they were just used to get your audience up
Right.
to lead into the 7 o'clock programming and the primetime programming and stuff like that. And it wasn't supposed to be a money maker. CNN had come along and did start turning it more into news makes money, but it wasn't, to the point where it is now, where it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And as we have seen throughout this country many, many times, is that money is the most powerful thing. It is more powerful than truth. It is more powerful than
Yeah.
anything else that you could possibly want in this country. They don't care. They just want their money. But last week, more good news came out about Joe Biden and the jobs report.
Yeah.
And the jobs report came out and it doubled basically the expectations of the amount of jobs that they had anticipated coming out. Over 300,000 jobs were added to the US
Mhm.
economy.
No one's talking about it.
No one's talking about it. But a reporter did ask Joe Biden about if how he addresses the American people who are still feeling the pain and who are still, feeling like everything is not great. And this was
Right.
Joe Biden's response, and I really enjoyed this. So let's take a listen to President
People
Biden.
still don't feel positive or feel good news about the economy.
Well, first of all, you just heard the news today, too. They haven't heard it. I think the people, those 300 plus thousand people who got jobs, feel better about the economy. Look, I got to choose my words here. You all are not the happiest people in the world.
Mm.
What you report. And I mean it sincerely. It gets you get more legs when you're reporting something that's negative. I don't mean you're picking on me. I'm just the nature of things. You turn on the television, and there's not a whole lot about boy saves dog as he swims in the lake. To say it's about somebody pushed the dog in the lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he expressed himself, I think, in a manner unlike the previous president, who basically would say, "You guys are fake. You guys are mean to me. You guys are this. You guys are that," and stopped himself. I'll choose my words carefully because I don't want to make it look like that
Right.
the media is after me.
Right.
But he's exactly right. The media is about, you'd even see the headlines. The headlines would be like, why adding $300,000 jobs to the economy is bad for Biden. And you're like,
Right.
wait, what? That's the
Right.
fucking headline that you
Yeah.
just came out with?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, or 300 whatever jobs add to the economy, and people are so hungry. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's like, can we just, and if
Yeah.
there is something about it, does that have to be the headline? Because it's my experience that most people will read a headline and just think, that's the news I got for the day. Now I'm moving on to the meme on Twitter.
Right.
That's the second part of news that I got for the day. Now I'm done because I've educated myself properly. And now I can get in my group text and sound like a fucking moron and report what I saw on a headline and on a meme.
Yeah. Yep. It's
Bah.
bad. It's bad. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how it stops because it's just always been like this. It has just always been like
Well,
this.
I don't know if it's always been like this. I
Well,
think,
since
you know,
Trump
there
came on, it's just been a Trump show, like a
well,
steady.
yes, recently 100%. Yeah, it's been like this, you know, but there were sort of regulations when it came to media. There was something called the fairness doctrine where
Right.
you would have to report one side, and if you report the other, you get to report the other side. And it kind of had a check and balance until Reagan came in, got rid of that, and that really opened the floodgates for the Rush Limbaughs and the
Right.
Fox Newses, and
Right.
now the kooky podcasters that we hear, and YouTube channels, and you know, some people call it our YouTube channel kooky, but you know, I don't know. I think it's just basically uh, we're in a time now. We've said it before that how does this go away? How do you combat it? How do you do anything about it? You can't, right?
We just have to have a lot of us out here who,
Yeah,
and a lot of people on these different platforms who call it out. And it's interesting, like I'm part of a resistor group, whatever. And we have a graphics team. So we have like an idea room, whatever's going on in the day, we just pop, throw ideas in there for the graphics team to make the graphics for us. And one of the graphics that we have now to use is like I forget what it is, something about like this is a Republican lie or something, and it has fingers like pointing
hmm
up to it, so
yes,
that if you see one of them lie, you could drop our fresh resist graphics right up underneath it, like, because they're just out here lying about everything at this, especially that $6 billion, like, so.
right.
So that my point was that those are the things that we have to continue to do. Just call out the lies.
And, you know, quite frankly, at the end of the day, it probably, I mean, it is working, probably not to the point where we need it to be working, because there's
Right.
no way a Donald Trump should even be close
No.
to Joe Biden or really any other candidate as far as president of the United States.
Mhm.
So that's where it's scary that enough of these people
Right.
believe it. But we've talked about this on the show before, that it's been quite clear since 2016 that people have their eyes open and they're going, I don't know, this is pretty fucking crazy. So that's why they
Yeah.
lost in 18. That's why they lost in 20. That's why they lost in 2022.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, if Mark Elias has his way, they're going to lose the House in 2024. They could probably hold on to the Senate. You know, again, none of this is going to be easy,
Yeah.
but, and again, you and I are not, well, we're not directly, I mean, anybody can listen. We invite anybody to listen to the show, you know, but we're not suspecting that we're going to change any minds of a programmed Donald
Oh,
Trump
right.
voter. And it's quite clear
Absolutely
from a
not.
lot of the comments that we get, um,
And I
but
don't even like, we talk about this, and not to cut you off. It's just like
mm,
these Republicans have no policy. So Donald Trump voters don't even care about policy.
nope,
They don't even care about kitchen table issues. They too just care about winning. It's like they're living vicariously through the lawmakers. Like the lawmakers want to win and have power, and they're rooting for the lawmakers just to win. Like it's like a freaking video game to them. They don't care about their social security being cut. Like they're not thinking about any of that. And that's just like one of the things I say to them when I notice a troll and I see that gray hair, and I'm like, you're not concerned about your social security? Like I said, like, what's
you
wrong
know,
with you?
well, what maybe even scarier is that they absolutely do care about their Social Security. They care about their Medicaid and Medicare. They do care about all that, but they think it's the Democrats
Yeah.
who are going to take it away from them. They are convinced when Republicans out loud say that they are going to do it, and you can tell them to their face, and they still will go to another rally later, be interviewed, and go, nah.
How are you supporting Republicans and you're not going on their websites and reading their platforms? Because it's there.
Yeah,
It's-
it's mind-boggling. I can't understand it. And again, a lot of it's just so simplistic. It's not even hard to understand. And the easiest things to understand is difficult for them to either understand, or they are intentionally blocking it
Yeah.
from their brain because something bigger is taking over. And that is an internal anger and an internal sort of strife that has them thinking that their way of life is being taken over by people that don't look and sound like them, which again is not true. But let's say, even there is some sort of truth to that. How's that going to change your life? What's it going to do? Do you think, what happens to you?
Right.
Again, we talked about this before. I'm getting older, and I know at some point I'm going to be off this earth, and the world is changing, and what's happening, with younger people, and as they get older, there's going to be younger people, and it's just not for me. But it doesn't, if it doesn't affect me directly, what do I care?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. Lana.
Oh, this is an age-old question. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, what is happening?